Hello. You saw the title, and that begs the question, who do we look up to anymore? Like like seriously, who is left with all the island drama going on? It kind of feels like it's the perfect time to talk about it. So I've been reading this book recently. It's called Think and Grow Rich, and I finished it, and there's a chapter that talks about an invisible council. Basically, it says you should create a group of imaginary advisors that are real people or historical figures or really just anyone that you admire, and you meet with them in your mind to plan out your life and see how it's going and strategize your moves and shape who you'll become. And I'm like, bet that sounds like a great idea because I already talked to myself all day. I talked to myself here. I might as well invite some company to the party. And here's the thing. When I sat down and actually tried to build this imaginary council, I couldn't think of a single person I wanted in the room. And that kind of messed with me. I mean, yeah, I could throw in Elon Musk, the most successful businessman on earth right now, right? But then I remembered he's literally put his heart out to the crowd at an inauguration, and that kind of weirded me out. Or maybe I could go with Trump, you know, say what you want. He's rich, he's powerful, he built his empire, but he's had multiple allegations, and apparently there's a list he's trying to hide that involves predators. So, maybe he's not the ideal person on the council. Or you could dig back further. You could go with the Carnegie, or you could go with Rockefeller, or you could go with Vanderbilt. But if you've been a watcher of my video, you know that I think these giants who built these ginormous industries aren't the best people in the world, because it kind of turns out that they made most of their wealth off just straight up robber baron tactics, or extortion, or manipulation, or some sort of corporate rating that I don't really think aligns with my morals. And then I thought, I'm like, well, who do I take advice from then? I'm in my late 20s. I'm trying to elevate myself. I'm trying to become someone I can be proud of. I'm open enough to talk to imaginary people if it will help me progress, but I'm not yet willing to sell out my values for the sake of success. I don't think I'll ever be willing to do that. So who's left? Who is left? And that's the toughest part. And here's the meat and potatoes. I'm a grown man. I know I can take care of myself. I don't need some fantasy boardroom of old dead billionaires guiding me and me seeing what moves I want to do. But I still find it weird that when I was a kid, I looked up to people. I had heroes, I had role models, I had just people who inspired me. I looked up to my dad, and I still do. I think my dad's the best person in the world, right next to my mom. But I could just call him instead of imagining him in my head. But that's a side note. I looked up to athletes. I was really into sports. I looked up to Randy Moss. I looked up to rich people on TV. I looked up to CEOs, people who seemed larger than life. But when you're a kid, you don't really have a grasp on what your moral compass is. You don't think, what if that person is into some stuff that would make me sick? Or what if that person is into me more than I am into them. And if you didn't get that joke, then don't worry about it. But now that's all I think about. It's almost like we're living in a world where there's no clean heroes left. Everybody at the top seems to have done something that's just kind of disgusting, and even if it's not proven, it's there. It's in the background. It's a shadow, and that's confusing to me, and that has consequences, like real life consequences for pretty much everybody involved. Like, imagine 20 years from now, a whole generation of kids growing up with no one to look up to, nobody they can admire, without also holding their nose because their past stinks so bad. And that kind of kills a young man or young woman's ambition. That kind of steals childhood wonder, and that creates isolation, because if you can't look up to anyone, you start to feel like maybe you shouldn't even look up anymore. You shouldn't look ahead. And honestly, let's be real here for a second. You don't even know who I am. And I don't want you to know who I am. I'm wearing a mask, and completely hypothetically, I could be a monster too. You don't know. I'm wearing the same mask as these people are. I could be living a double life. You have no clue. And that's kind of metaphorical or whatever to what is kind of happening right now. Everyone seems to be wearing a mask, and it's hard to look up to somebody who's wearing a mask. But what I meant by that is, I'm not asking you to blindly trust me when I make these videos. Honestly, I'm asking you not to. The purpose of my channel is to invoke thoughts from these questions or problems or whatever I'm asking. But I want you to think about this. Where are our role models? What are our role models doing? Are they setting a good example? And if all of our role models are gone, who do we become? Anyways, I didn't really plan where this video would go. I just kind of wanted to make a rant about the repercussions of kind of everybody at the top being into something weird. And I don't really know. I just wanted to get that off my chest. And at the time of recording this, I think that we have 510 subscribers. At the time of writing the script, we had 502, and that's crazy to me. That's more than I ever thought I'd have, and I just really want to take a minute to say thank you. Thank you so much. I have so much fun doing this. I took some time off today from a hobby that I really enjoy to film these videos, and I kind of sat on my phone and kind of watched some shorts and distracted myself rather than filming, and kind of felt bad. So then I just filmed this, and I have so much fun. Honestly, I have so much fun doing this. So thank you. Every single one of you watching, every single one of you that's helping me make this dream just a little bit more real every day. Thank you. It honestly just means the world to me. And with that being said, I'll catch you next time. Thank you.